Listen carefully, because this is not motivation. This is a warning. Most people don't ruin their lives with one big mistake. They destroy it slowly, quietly, every single day by choosing comfort over growth, excuses over discipline, and distractions over purpose. Right now, somewhere deep inside, you already know the truth. You know you are capable of more. You know you are not living at your full potential. And you also know that time is moving forward without mercy. Every hour that passes is gone forever. You don't get it back. And yet you waste it like it's infinite. That's the real crime. Not failure, not struggle, but wasting the one life you were given. You wake up tired, even when you've slept. Not because your body is exhausted, but because your mind is weak. You scroll, you consume, you distract yourself with noise, entertainment, and fake comfort. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You tell yourself you need motivation, the right moment, the perfect plan. That tomorrow never comes. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years. And one day you look in the mirror and realize the person staring back at you is a stranger, older, slower, regretful, full of what ifs. That's where this road leads if you don't stop right now. Understand this, nobody is coming to save you, not your family, not your friends, not society. The world does not care about your potential. The world only responds to results. You can complain all you want about unfairness, about luck, about circumstances, but none of that changes reality. Life rewards strength, discipline, and execution. Everything else is noise. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop wasting your life. Most people live in reaction mode. They react to their phone, they react to their emotions, they react to other people's opinions, they react to fear. That's not living, that's existing. A man who reacts instead of decides is already defeated. Control starts when you stop letting your feelings dictate your actions. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel confident. You need to act. Confidence is built through action, not thinking. You've been lied to. You were told life is about being happy, being comfortable, being safe. That lie has made people soft, anxious, and lost. Real fulfillment comes from struggle, from discipline, from doing hard things when you don't feel like it, from pushing yourself when quitting would be easier. Every meaningful life is built on discomfort. If your life feels empty, it's because you've avoided pain for too long. Pain is not the enemy. Weakness is, look at your daily routine. Be honest. Not the version you tell people, but the real one. How much time do you waste? How many hours disappear into nothing? Social media, random videos, games, mindless conversations. Compare that to how much time you spend building skills, improving your body, sharpening your mind, increasing your value. The imbalance is why you feel stuck. Your habits are perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. And here's the brutal truth. If nothing changes, this will be your life forever. Same income, same excuses, same frustrations, same dreams that never turn real. No one accidentally becomes disciplined. No one accidentally becomes successful. It is a conscious decision made daily to do what others refuse to do. And that decision starts with taking full responsibility, not partial responsibility, not blaming, full ownership. Everything in your life right now is the result of your choices. Once you accept that, you take your power back. You don't need more information. You already know what to do. You need standards. You need rules for yourself that are non-negotiable. Wake up earlier. Train your body. Work on a skill that pays. Cut distractions. Say no more often. Stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking validation. Stop waiting for permission. Nobody gave you permission to waste your life either, yet here you are. So why wait to take control? The hardest battle is not against the world, it's against the weak version of yourself that wants comfort, shortcuts, and excuses. That voice in your head will beg you to stay the same. It will tell you it's too hard, too late, too risky. That voice is lying. The real risk is staying average. The real danger is reaching the end of your life knowing you never tried. This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Decide who you are going to become and start acting like it today. No motivation, no hype, just discipline. Because discipline is what saves men. And if you don't build it now, life will break you later. If part one was the wake-up call, this is the mirror you can't look away from. Because now it gets uncomfortable. Now it gets honest. The reason you are not where you want to be is not because you lack talent. It's not because the system is against you. It's not because you were born in the wrong place or at the wrong time. The reason is simple and brutal. You have not built discipline, And without discipline, everything else collapses. Motivation is a lie. People tell themselves to feel better about inaction. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Discipline is doing the work when you're tired, bored, angry, unmotivated, and unsure. Discipline is choosing the long-term reward over the short-term comfort every single day. And most people never build it because discipline hurts the ego. It forces you to confront who you really are, not who you pretend to be. Look at your life again, but this time through the lens of discipline. Do you do what you say you're going to do, or do you negotiate with yourself? Just today, I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. Every time you make that deal with yourself, you lose trust in yourself. And a man who doesn't trust himself is already broken. Confidence is not low. UD talk or bold quotes. Confidence is self-trust. And self-trust is built by keeping promises to yourself, especially the small ones. Your body is the first proof of discipline. If you can't control what you eat, when you sleep, and how you move, how do you expect to control money, business, or life? A weak body creates a weak mind. A weak mind creates weak decisions. And weak decisions create a weak future. Training is not optional. It's not about looking good. It's about building mental toughness. Every hard rep, every uncomfortable session is teaching you one thing: you don't quit when it gets hard. Then there's your time. Time is the real currency, and you are spending it like you're rich when in reality you're broke. Every hour wasted is an opportunity burned. You say you want success, but your calendar tells a different story. People who win structure their days. They plan, they execute, they eliminate distractions without apology. They don't let random moods decide their schedule. They decide first, then they act. Understand this clearly. Nobody with a serious future lives a casual life. Casual effort produces casual results. If you treat your goals like a hobby, don't be surprised when they never pay you back. You can't want an elite life with average habits. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with work you've been avoiding. And here's the part most people hate to hear. Excuses feel good, but they rot you from the inside. Every excuse, you repeat becomes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a man who acts and start seeing yourself as a man who explains. Strong men don't explain why they failed to do the work. They adjust and execute. They don't need sympathy. They need results. Discipline is lonely. When you start saying no to late nights, pointless conversations, and meaningless entertainment, people will question you. Some will mock you. Some will try to pull you back down. That's the price. Growth always separates you from the crowd. If everyone understands your lifestyle, you're probably not aiming high enough. You must decide what you're willing to sacrifice. Comfort, sleep, old habits, certain relationships, because something has to go. You can't add success to a life that's already full of distractions. You have to remove before you add. Cut ruthlessly, not emotionally, logically. Anything that doesn't move you forward is either a lesson or a liability. This is where most people stop. They like the idea of discipline, but not the reality of it. They like watching hard speeches, but they don't like living hard days. But understand this, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. Every year you delay is a year you never get back. And one day, discipline will be forced on you by circumstances you don't control, by financial pressure, by health problems, by lost opportunities. Choose discipline now or be disciplined later by life. This is not about becoming obsessed for a week. This is about a permanent shift in standards. You no longer ask, do I feel like it? You ask, is this aligned with the man I am becoming? That question alone will change everything. Now we go deeper, because discipline alone isn't enough if fear is still running your mind. Fear is the invisible hand controlling most people's lives. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of looking stupid, fear of losing what little comfort they have, and the most dangerous one of all, fear of trying and still not becoming great. So instead of risking disappointment, people choose a smaller life they can explain. That's not safety. That's self-betrayal. Fear doesn't disappear on its own. You don't think your way out of fear. You act your way through it. Every time you hesitate, fear grows stronger. Every time you delay, fear tightens its grip. And every time you avoid the hard thing, you train your brain to run instead of confront. Over time, that becomes your identity. You become someone who avoids, someone who waits, someone who talks more than they do. Comfort addiction is fear in disguise. You tell yourself you're just resting, just preparing, just waiting for the right time. But comfort is not neutral. Comfort makes you weak. It dulls your instincts. It lowers your tolerance for effort. When your life becomes too comfortable, Even small challenges feel overwhelming. That's why people panic over basic problems. They've trained themselves to live without resistance. Look at how you respond when things get hard. Do you lean in or do you escape? Do you focus or do you distract yourself? Most people escape. They grab their phone. They numb themselves with entertainment. They look for easy dopamine instead of earned confidence. That's how men slowly lose their edge, not overnight, but through 1,000 small acts of avoidance. Here's a truth most won't accept. Fear is a signal. It points directly at what you need to do. The thing you're scared to start, scared to say, scared to attempt, that's where your growth is. That's where your next level lives. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel fear. Fear only shows up when something is important. Strong men don't wait for fear to go away. They move while it's present. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? Start asking, what if this is exactly what I need? Because doing nothing is also a decision, and it guarantees one outcome, staying the same. You already know how that story ends. Same struggles, same frustration, same regret. The unknown is scary, but the known is killing you slowly. You were not built to live a small, quiet, cautious life. You were built to carry weight, responsibility, pressure, challenge. When you avoid responsibility, life feels meaningless. When you carry it, life gains purpose. That's why easy lives feel empty and hard lives feel full. Purpose is forged under pressure. Stop trying to protect your feelings. Feelings are temporary. Weak men protect their comfort. Strong men build our resilience. They expose themselves to difficulty on purpose. Cold mornings, hard training, difficult conversations, long hours, because they understand something most people don't. Struggle is not punishment. It's preparation. Every time you do what scares you, something powerful happens. Your self-respect grows. Your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes and start seeing yourself as someone who acts. That change is irreversible. Once you've faced yourself honestly, you can't go back to pretending. Fear wants you alone, quiet, and doubtful. Action destroys fear. Momentum suffocates it. You don't need courage to start. You need movement. Take one step, then another. Let fear follow behind you instead of standing in front of you. This is the moment where excuses lose their power. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. And once you taste that strength, comfort will never satisfy you again. This is where everything changes, because now we are no longer talking about habits or fear. We are talking about identity. Who you believe you are decides what you allow in your life. And what you allow is exactly what you become. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because their standards are too low. They tolerate weakness, distraction, laziness, and disrespect, then wonder why their life feels out of control. Your standards are not what you say out loud. Your standards are what you walk past without fixing. Every time you ignore a problem you could solve, you lower your self-respect. Every time you accept less than you know you deserve, you teach yourself that you are not worth more. Over time, that becomes your identity. Not because you chose it consciously, but because you allowed it quietly. Strong men have ruthless standards for themselves, not for others, for themselves. They don't negotiate with weakness. They don't romanticize struggle. They don't complain about how hard it is. They do what needs to be done because that's who they are. Identity comes before results. If you see yourself as disciplined, you act disciplined. If you see yourself as weak, you look for excuses. The mind always finds evidence to support the identity you choose. Right now, you are living at the level of your self-respect. Nothing more, nothing less. If your finances are a mess, your health is declining, your focus is scattered, it's not bad luck. It's misaligned identity. You haven't decided who you are yet, so life is deciding for you. And life is brutal when you don't take control. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems and standards. Goals are emotional. Standards are structural. Goals motivate for a moment. Standards shape behavior for a lifetime. Stop asking, what do I want? Start asking, what kind of man does this action build? That question removes confusion instantly. Self-respect is built in private, in the moments no one sees. When you choose to work out of escape, when you train instead of sleep in, when you speak the truth instead of staying silent to keep peace, every one of those moments deposits something into your character. And character compounds faster than money. Most people want confidence without competence. They want respect without effort. They want results without sacrifice. That never works. Confidence is earned. respect is built, and results are rented, and the rent is due every single day. There are no shortcuts, only delayed payments. Your environment matters more than your intentions. If you surround yourself with people who complain, waste time, and normalize mediocrity, you will slowly become one of them. Not because you want to, but because humans adapt. Cut what weakens you, add what sharpens you. Protect your focus like it's your future, because it is. This is where you stop being potential and start becoming dangerous. Dangerous to excuses, dangerous to old habits, dangerous to the version of yourself that wanted to stay small. When your standards rise, your life has no choice but to follow. You don't need permission to change. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. Decide who you are, then act in alignment with that decision every day. That's how identities are forged. Not through words, but through repetition. Now, we talk about money because money doesn't change people, it exposes them. Money reveals discipline, patience, priorities, and self-control. And the reason most people say, I broke, is not because they lack opportunity, but because their mindset is weak. They treat money emotionally instead of strategically. They spend to feel better. They avoid learning because it's uncomfortable. And then they blame the system for results they never earned. Money follows value, always. If your income is low, it's because the value you provide is low or hard to find. That's not an insult. That's a starting point. The world does not pay you for effort. It pays you for usefulness. Complaining about money without increasing your value is like being angry at a mirror. The reflection won't change until you do. Most people want money for comfort. Strong men want money for freedom. Comfort makes you lazy. Freedom gives you options. Options give you power. When money is used correctly, it removes fear, it removes dependency, it removes excuses. But when money is misunderstood, it becomes another trap. Chasing status, validation, and fake lifestyles keeps people broke mentally even when they earn more. You must stop seeing money as luck or evil or stress. Money is a tool, a scoreboard, a feedback system. It tells you how valuable you are in the marketplace. Instead of resenting it, learn it, study it, respect it. People who hate money usually don't understand it, and people who don't understand it stay controlled by those who do. Here's a hard truth. No one cares how hard you tried. They care about results. The market is ruthless and fair at the same time. It rewards problem solvers. It ignores excuse makers. If you want more money, solve bigger problems or solve the same problems better than others. Skills pay, emotions don't. Responsibility is the price of power. The more responsibility you carry, the more money you can handle. That's why irresponsible people lose money quickly. They haven't built the discipline to manage it. Before you ask for more, prove you can handle what you already have. Control your spending. Track your time. Invest in skills before toys. Build before you show off. Stop chasing quick wins. Stop looking for shortcuts. Real money is built slowly, then it compounds fast. The patience to build is what separates men from boys. Boys want fast pleasure. Men delay gratification. Boys spend first and think later. Men plan first and spend intentionally. Money amplifies who you already are. If you're disciplined, it gives you leverage. If you're weak, it destroys you faster. That's why the work starts internally. Build discipline, build structure, build self-control. Then money becomes an ally instead of a problem. And understand this, wanting money is not shallow. Wanting freedom, security, and control over your time is rational. The lie is thinking money alone will fix your life. It won't. But lack of money will definitely make life harder. So stop pretending it doesn't matter. It does. This is where you stop hoping and start building. Skill by skill, day by day, quietly, relentlessly. No applause needed. Because real wheel, Siege is built in silence long before it's visible. Because it forces you to confront something uncomfortable. Time does not care about your excuses. Time does not slow down when you're confused. Time does not pause when you're scared. Every single day that passes is a day you will never get back. And one day, sooner than you think, you will realize that the window to become who you wanted to be has closed. Death awareness is not negative. It's clarifying. Weak minds avoid thinking about the end because it exposes how little they've done. Strong minds use it as fuel. They understand that life is short, fragile, and brutally unforgiving to those who waste it. When you truly accept that your time is limited, nonsense loses its appeal. Distractions lose their power. You stop caring about opinions that don't matter. Ask yourself this honestly. If your life ended in 5 years, would you be proud of how you're living right now? not of your intentions, not of your plans, of your actions, of your discipline, of your courage. If the answer makes you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is truth knocking. Most people silence it. Winners listen. You don't get unlimited chances to reinvent yourself. There are seasons in life. Miss them and the cost multiplies. Energy fades. Responsibilities grow. Regret gets heavier. Starting later is harder than starting now. The earlier you build discipline, the more time compound works in your favor. The longer you delay, the more pressure you create. Are your future self. People say take your time like time is something you own. You don't own time. You borrow it. And the interest rate is brutal. Every year of inaction adds weight to the years that follow. That's why older regret is heavier than younger failure. Failure teaches. Regret corrodes. This is why urgency matters. Not panic. Urgency. Calm, focused urgency. The understanding that every day matters, that average effort today steals from exceptional results tomorrow, that small daily decisions decide massive outcomes over time. Life is not changed by one heroic moment. It's shaped by thousands of boring disciplined choices. Legacy is not about fame. It's about impact. It's about becoming someone your future self would respect, someone your children, real or symbolic, could look at and say, he didn't waste his life. Legacy starts with how you use your mornings, your evenings, your energy, your attention. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You need to stop quitting on yourself. Stop resetting every Monday. Stop pretending next year will magically be different if this year wasn't disciplined. The future is built on what you repeat, not what you promise. One day, comfort will no longer be an option. Age, responsibility, or circumstance will remove it. The question is whether you will be strong by then or bitter, whether you will have built something or just explanations, whether you will look back with pride or with the painful knowledge that you could have done more. Time is the final judge, and it never lies. This is where it ends, and this is where it begins. Because after everything you've heard, there is no excuse left, no confusion, no misunderstanding. You now know exactly what the problem is and exactly what the solution requires. The problem was never the world. It was never lack of opportunity. It was never other people. The problem was that you allowed yourself to live below your capability. And the solution is simple, but not easy. You stop running from responsibility and you start becoming the man your life demands. Most people spend their entire lives running from pressure, running from accountability, running from the work they know they should be doing. They stay busy so they don't have to face themselves. They keep noise around them so they don't have to hear the truth inside their own head. But silence exposes weakness, and strength is built in silence. There comes a point where you must stop consuming and start producing. Stop watching others live the life you want and start building your own. Inspiration without execution becomes self-torture. You already know enough. You've heard enough. The only thing missing is action taken consistently, especially on the days you don't feel like it. This is the moment you draw a line. The old version of you does not get to come with you anymore. The version that procrastinated, the version that quit when it got uncomfortable, the version that need devalidation, approval, or permission. That version has already cost you too much time. You don't hate him. You thank him for the lesson, and you move on without him. From this point forward, your actions must match your words. Your habits must match your goals. Your standards must match the life you say you want. No more pretending. No more half effort. No more waiting to feel ready. You act because action is who you are now. There will be days you doubt yourself. That's normal. There will be days you feel tired. That's part of the process. There will be days when quitting feels easier than continuing. That's the test. Every man who has ever built something meaningful faced those days. The difference is they didn't stop. They didn't negotiate with weakness. They kept going when others didn't. You don't need applause. You don't need recognition. You don't need anyone to understand you. The work speaks. Results speak. Your life will speak for you. Quiet consistency is louder than any speech. Understand this deeply. The world will not slow down for you. It will move on with or without your participation. So you either step up and claim your place, or you watch from the sidelines while time passes you by. There is no neutral position. Standing still is moving backward. This is not about being perfect. This is about being relentless, about showing up again and again, about becoming someone who can be trusted, especially by yourself. Because when you trust yourself, Fear loses its grip. Doubt loses its power, and excuses disappear. You were not meant to live an average life filled with regret and wasted potential. You were meant to carry weight, to build something, to become someone strong enough to handle pressure without breaking. That path is open to you right now, but it will close if you keep delaying. So make the decision, not emotionally, not loudly, calmly. Decide who you are going to be, then prove it with your actions every single day. No more running, no more hiding, no more wasting your life. This is your moment. Take it. End